help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. If
Nashukuru Mungu sababu kwa hiyo miaka 6 naweza sema amenisaidia hapo hiyo diagnosis nilipata hiyo welfare cause familia yangu haikuweza kulipa matibabu. Wazazi wangu hawangeweza. So nikiingizwa kwa hiyo welfare. NHIF imekuwa nikichukua nayo tamoxifen hiyo miaka yote. Sasa kwa sasa natafuta pesa ili niweze kufanya hizo investigation. Cause investigation zenyewe pia zinakuanga unafaa kutoa pesa.
Hivyo basi daktari, hata mtu baada ya kugunduliwa anafanya bado anaendelea na uchunguzi?
Kwa sababu unajua shida ya saratani ya matiti sio kama saratani nyingine kama tuseme ile ya colon, like large intestine. Ukiwa umemaliza 5 years na ulikuwa na saratani ya matumbo kubwa, what we call cancer of the colon, you actually basically cured. For breast cancer, because the ovaries are still injecting the estrogen, which is actually started the disruption of it, ndio inaleta hii shida. So we need to closely monitor you. It's like a volcano. Sometimes it's quiet, and then one from nowhere it springs up. But for Lola, you know, I remember she had gone to help people to examine people for a day that, you know, it was a cancer month, and her friend examines and say there's a lump, and then they say initially it's a fibroadenoma, then they remove it and it becomes cancer. It was very early, and we've done everything. We've done chemo, we've done surgery, we've done radiation, we've done hormonal therapy for 6 years. What we are doing the PET scan for is to make sure, you know, PET scan is from head to toe, and Lola now the NHIF actually covers. In fact, when I remember when the first lady came to start it, the PET scan, we are the only ones with PET scan in East and Central Africa. So the NHIF accepted to be doing it. They pay 65,000 for it. So I think NHIF will still do for you the PET scan, so that now you can see all in the body. And the breast, whatever it is she cleared of the disease? But even then, she will still have to come every year for check, just like any other woman.
Kuangaliwa.
Yeah, unajua sasa ile kitu ambayo inasaidia wanaume na wanawake, katika wanawake kwa saratani ya matiti ni kuonekana kila mwaka. Screening. Because for her it was a kind of a screening, but with examination, although there was already a lump. So ukipata mapema inakuwa rahisi kutibu. Lakini ikiwa imeenea inaleta shida kubwa sana.
Na Miriam, tukiangalia kama ulivyoona kwenye runinga picha ambazo zilikuwa hapo awali na kwa sasa, manake unaendelea bado na matibabu, tunaona kwamba kuna upande mmoja wa uso ambao umeathirika, ni kutokana na hiyo
sasa what happened when she got the mets in the brain. Unajua brain is like a box. It's contained in the bone. So if a particular area is affected, for example, her facial nerve is affected. That's why you see the facial nerve it controls, both of them control the face, the mouth, and the smiling and all that. So, and the eyes opening and closing, plus the others. So most likely, mali or nil kwa ile met kwa brain will affect his own nerves. That's why you can see that it has changed her facial appearance.
Lakini bado unafanywa sasa ile physiotherapy na inasaidia.
The other thing is that also from the surgery itself, the nerves can be affected. So that's why physiotherapy becomes part of the treatment.
Na Miriam, yote ile ambayo umepitia, nini kinakupa msukumo kusema kwamba mimi nitaendelea? Unajua kuna wengine watasema daktari anakujibia.
Hakuna mtu ambaye sijui kama kuna ile anapenda kufa, lakini mimi sitaki kufa wakati huu. Na ndio najiambia bado ningali na watoto wachanga wa kulea, wananihitaji na familia na marafiki, na pia mimi mwenyewe niko na ile upendo wa kutaka kuendelea na kusukuma na kuonyesha watu sio lazima ufe kutokana na kansa. Na unaweza kupona. Watu unatibiwa huku Kenya au nje, matibabu yapo na watu wanapona, kansa inapona, na ndio maana nataka niendelee kusukuma zaidi na niweze kuwa kama Lola vile Lola. Sasa vile ako mzima na ako na afya nzuri. Pia natamani kuwe mmoja wa hao.
Na kama mtu anataka kukusaidia, kusaidie vipi? Uko na pay bill?
Ndio niko nayo.
Ni ngapi?
Kumbuke.
Naweza kuwa umeandika mahali naweza soma. Maybe you can.
No, ni 801
801
53
53
93.
93.
Yes.
Na hapo mtu anaandika
Kwa
jina.
account kwa account namba ni jina langu Miriam Dirango.
Miriam Dirango.
Ndio.
Umesema 801 5393.
Yes.
Aha. Na Lola, maneno yako ya mwisho kwa watazamaji wetu.
Okay. Nashukuru kwa hapa leo. Na pia naweza sema kwa Wakenya kwa jumla, iwe mwanamke ama iwe mwanamume, na kufanya uchunguzi kila mwaka, kwenda ensure huko umeset appointment, kama vile unajua birthday yako ni tarehe fulani. Unaenda hospitali, unafanyiwa investigation. Sio lazima uende ati ufanye hizo investigation kubwa kubwa, hata wakiitana hospitali waseme iko testing ya bure, mnakuja. Unachukua muda wako kama vile tu unachukua muda wako kufanya mambo mengine. Sababu early diagnosis, kama vile Profesa Waseki amesema, inakupatia ile tumaini kutokana na matibabu ambayo yametufikia kama Wakenya. So ningewaomba Wakenya kwa jumla, hata wanaume pia, sababu saratani siku hizi hata kama ni ya matiti ina affect mpaka wanaume. Wanaenda hospitali, wanaangaliwa, wanachunguzwa ili tuweze kusaidiana. Na pia vile vile pale mtu ako na saratani anaitisha msaada, ni vizuri kukumbuka ya kwamba hata shilingi 10 yako ina go a long way kusaidia matibabu. Sababu ikiwa matibabu ni 1350, bila ile 50 yule mtu atapata yale matibabu. Sasa ile 50 yako, shilingi 10 yako, kwa ujumla kama Wakenya tukikuja pamoja tunaweza kusaidia watu. Watu wakiitana tupate kuitika.
Yes. Naam, daktari, napenda alivyosema hapo Lola, kufanyia uchunguzi ni kama ni unavyotenga birthday yako.
Sasa unajua ile kitu inasangaza mimi mara nyingi ni kwamba ukiwa na gari after 3000, kama ni ya diesel 3000 kilometers unaenda kupeleka kwa service. Ikiwa ni petrol, ikiwa 5000 unapeleka kwa service. Hii gari pia umeipatia insurance. Lakini mwili yako je? Unaipeleka service siku gani? Watu wengine wanapeleka mwili service asile wameisha kabisa. Yaani engine imeanguka. Ndio sana wanaume. Anaenda hospitali saa zile amekuwa mwisho, amefika mwisho. So bila Lola amesema, on a serious note, I think we should go for screening, whether you're a man or a woman. We should go for screening. For if you are after 20 years, for women they should go for at least yearly examination. And then when they reach 40 years, they should just mammo screening. And those who are at a high risk, there are women who are at a high risk. For example, these two, they are children, because they got their cancer below 40. Their children will have to be still, like her twins, they'll start to be screened early, much earlier, like maybe at 20, 25 years. And that you can't use mammogram, you have to use an MRI, and then many other things, just to follow them up. In an ideal situation, the two of them, because they're younger than 20 or 40 years, they would have done what is called genetic testing, because it's likely that their genes changed, and that's why they developed breast cancer. So they might need genetic counseling and genetic testing. So watu tuenda, wanaume waende mambo ya prostate, mambo ya breast, mambo ya colon. Alafu, the other important 3 things that I must tell Kenyans that are very difficult but they are very easy is prevention. Now, how do we prevent cancer and other chronic diseases, non-infectious diseases? One, we need to eat well, good diet, a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruits, as compared to red meat and fat and many other things. So we need to do that. Number 2 is that we need to move around.
Kufanya mazoezi.
Kufanya mazoezi. Hata kutembea tu, usije hata kulipa pesa ya gym ama nini.
Hata unaweza tembea.
Wewe tembea badala ya kusimama ama kukaa kwa muda mrefu. Ukikaa after 1 hour, like now you work here, after 1 hour you go to your friend and say hi to her and come back walking. And the aim is to have at least minimum of 10,000 steps a day. The minimum. Ya tatu ni kulala, sleep. People don't know how much sleep does to your body. If you need a minimum of 6 hours of sleep to repair your body. to think well, to wipe out radicals that might cause a lot of problems in the body, including hypertension, diabetes na saratani.
Kulala inasaidia.
Yeah, asante sana. Na hiyo kwa hiyo machache nataka kusema asante sana NTV kwa kualika hapa na kuongea na nyinyi.
Asante.
Najua Kiswahili yetu yangu
umejaribu.
Na
asante sana Profesa.
Lakini nataka pia kusema Miriam amesema tumsaidie. So Kenya wote tukuje pamoja, hata we are 47 million. Tukitoa hata shilingi moja hiyo ni 47 million, itatosha huyu msichana kutipiwa na apone na kuwa na watoto wake.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much for coming.
Asante sana Profesa Ronald Wasike, Lola Ndirangu pamoja na Miriam Ndirangu, na kama walivyosema ni muhimu sana kusaidia. Nambari ya Miriam ni 8015393, account number ni Miriam Ndirangu. Ni hayo tu katika NTV sasa. Naitwa Jane Ngoiri, kwa heri.
Sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Ile dongura unakuja kwa ng'ombe yetu hii. Unatupigana.
Oyengaga. Donganguni.
10 years of work for peace building completely destroyed with one shot.
Haijapatikana suluhisho hata moja ya kujua kwa nini watu wanapigana hii barabara.
Wameuawa tu ikaenda tu hivyo.
Hakuna mtu ameshikwa.
Hakuna.
Giwa kwa shule, hali ya usalama wetu sio garantiwa sana.
The police are not taking any chances. It is an exercise they have to repeat over the years.
We have strong evidence that some are procuring firearms and even using CDF to purchase ammunition.
Wanachikile shop iko pale hivi ya M-Pesa. Ndio shop atatuchapelea usiku. Manze pole amekuwa missing. Nimemtafuta kila mahali simuoni.
Paul ni mteja.
Simekwambia story ni serious manze.
Hajezi masimu. Wewe ni mwizi. Don't you dare. After Kenya nimekuona ukifanya na ule mwanaume, I think na qualify pia kukuita cheat. But kuhusu kutoambia Richard sioni kantaweza.
Kama unataka mbo chako anyamaze, lazima nyamazishwe.
Okay, tutamnyamazishaje?
Joy.
Royalville Gardens is an exquisite gated community nestled in a serene and secure neighborhood within Kiambu County. SMS your name to 20866 today for more details.
Wataipenda, ataipenda. So will he and them. Pia yeye na hao pia. Kila mtu ataipenda. Pata kila kitu upendacho kwa M-Pesa kupitia *334#. Kwa kuweka kila kitu kwa namba moja, tumerahisisha mambo ili uweze kuendelea kufanya vitu unavyopenda ukitumia M-Pesa.
Credit hauna, pesa hauna, connection hauna, hata simu ya maana hauna, lakini unanipigia simu ndio nichukue ikatike after 2 seconds so that I can call you back. Unadhani sijui? Wacha nifikirie kidogo nione kama ndachukua.
To get hauna by Abujubuju, dial *811 *925#. Skiza Non-Nation.
Avoid the crowds and use your card. Pay with your Absa debit card at any point of sale. Or better yet, shop online. Stay safe.
Miaka 20 safari ilianza ya kutuunganisha kama Wakenya. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Let's go beyond. Mimi na wewe tukibuni kazi nzuri ya kujivunia. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Kwa juhudi na matumaini twaelekea kesho pamoja. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Safaricom.
The Commission for University Education (CUE), in partnership with the Ministry of Education, invite all stakeholders to its third biannual conference on the state of university education in Kenya to be held virtually on October 28th and October 29th, 2020 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. The conference will include discussions on leveraging technologies for enhanced teaching and learning, university education in context of COVID-19, and sustainable university funding. The chief guest is Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha.
This is NTV.
Good afternoon. You're right on time for NTV at 1. My name is Olive Barrows. I'm not alone. We have Leila Mohammed at the Kenya Defence Forces Langata Barracks. We have Bridget Ngana in Nakuru County. We also have Melita Oletenges in Nyeri, and we'll be hearing from them shortly. President Uhuru Kenyatta is currently unveiling the Kenya Defence Forces Wellness Center at the Langata Barracks here in Nairobi. Earlier, he led the groundbreaking ceremony for a sports complex that is expected to house various sporting facilities for the different Ulinzi teams. As I mentioned, our reporter Leila Mohammed is at the barracks and brings us more. Leila, do we expect an address from the president?
Definitely, the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces is expected to make his address. That will be later after he has visited the inside of this facility that has been constructed beginning 2018 and was finally finished this year. So there's much more to making an officer other than just the physical aspect of it. There is the mental aspect, and many of them have gone to the theatre of war and have had scars that are beyond what the normal eye can see. So for the last few years that Kenya has been on active duty inside Somalia, as well as other parts of the world in peacekeeping and other missions as well, they have come back with scars more than just the physical ones. So this was an important facility to ensure that the hearts and minds of the soldiers are well taken care of. So here, their Commander-in-Chief has just arrived, as we can see, Olive. The next thing we're expecting is that he will come here down and then go and plant that particular tree before heading inside this facility to officially inaugurate it. But first, he is being introduced to the majors who are in charge of this facility. Remember that many of our men and women in uniform have been in other parts of this world. This is something that the KDF has been actively looking towards to ensure that they take care of their physical and the mental well-being. So other than taking care of issues of PTSD and depression as well as others, the wellness center is expected to take care of also the families of the soldiers, the special needs children, those who have issues in the battles that they face in their mind or matters of growth. So there is expected to be so much activity. Earlier he unveiled the sports complex. Let's listen in to the national anthem before we continue with this broadcast.
President Uhuru Kenyatta launching the military, or rather Defense Forces Wellness Center there at the Langata Barracks. I did mention we have Melita Oletenges in Nyeri County, where the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, is inspecting the delivery and progress of the stimulus package for schools. The package includes the construction of desks, which the government had allocated 1.9 billion shillings to ensure that schools are supplied with desks, which will ensure that they comply with the Ministry of Health's guidelines and protocols on social distancing. Our reporter in Nyeri, as I said, Melita Tenges, is on ground. Melita, what was the Education Cabinet Secretary's assessment of the stimulus package implementation?
Olive, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor George Magoha, has left this workshop just a minute ago, and he was inspecting the progress of the construction of the desks in line with the stimulus package that the government allocated schools about 1.9 billion shillings for the construction of over 600,000 desks. Remember, this is in line and in conformity with the Ministry of Health guidelines of social distancing in schools to stem the spread of coronavirus in those schools. But Olive, also to note, the Cabinet Secretary George Magoha has said that so far so good. He said that he's happy with the progress and delivery of these desks to school, but also he has actually come against some of the technicians or workshop owners who is saying are returning the forms for the tenders they were allocated, and they're saying this is to sabotage the whole process. And he's saying that he has actually come against that, asking them to actually deliver on the tenders that they have been allocated. Apart from that, Olive, the Cabinet Secretary has asked public schools, private schools, and international schools not to allow students whom the government has not allowed to return to school. He said that only grade 4, standard 8 and form 4 students are allowed in school as per now. This is what Cabinet Secretary George Magoha had to say in regards to that.
We have inspected them, and they are up to standard. In fact, they are extremely strong. I've compared them to what the school has. The school has good desks, but slightly smaller and in good condition. This is precisely what the government wants. that the stimulus package goes to benefit the youth at the sub-county level. And the sub-county commissioner is here somewhere. Yeah, so he's here with us. This project is being implemented jointly by the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Interior. And we are indeed very happy that I can now say that you should ignore the rumors and the naysayers who said that the desks have been awarded and they are not seeing desks. For the next 2 weeks, we are going to ensure that the desks have been made and delivered in all corners.
Olive, now the deadline for the construction of these desks was 19th October. So actually now the technicians and workshops owners are working past time. But the Cabinet Secretary has said that he will be going around the country to inspect and ensure that all the desks are actually delivered to the schools in time and ensure that students continue with learning. Back to you, Olive.
Thank you, Melita. I now move on to Nakuru County, where Bridget Ngana is standing by. And the burial service of the late Chief Francis Kariuki is underway in the county. And hundreds of chiefs from across the country and residents from his location have come to pay their last respects. And that is to the tweeting chief. Bridget Ngana, what are some of the eulogies that you've listened to? How is he remembered?
Well, Olive, the curtains are finally falling on the dawn of Twitter in terms of chiefs and their administrations. And today we are at Laneto Moja Primary School, and these are the grounds where the Requiem Mass, or the burial service of the late Chief Francis Kariuki, is currently going on. His body being put right at the center of the field, and chiefs drawn from all over the country have come here to pay their last respects. Chief Kariuki was the chairman, the sitting chairman of the National Chiefs Forum, a forum that just came into effect after the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution that sought to identify the roles of the chief. Remember, they felt that the 2010 Constitution did not really outline their roles, and yet they feel that they are the first line of defense in national security because they do know what happens in the villages, in the community. And remember, the Nyumba Kumi initiative was being spearheaded by the chiefs. And here in Laneto Moja, Chief Kariuki did take this location in the global arena with his tweeting. He embraced Twitter and used Twitter to curb crime in this area, police the community, and lots of the people here have come, thousands in their thousands. Some of them are standing outside the fence of the school, just looking on into what is happening at the grounds. The family of the chief is also here. We do understand the governor of Nakuru was also among the dignitaries who came to eulogize the tweeting chief. He goes down, or he is being buried as the only tweeting chief in the country. And as at the time of his death, he had more than 50,000 followers on Twitter, and he was keen on making this place a digital area. He was looking at ensuring that the residents have free Wi-Fi so that they can be able to communicate. He was very charismatic, and they describe him as a humble man, a man who loved the people and also a man who loved God. A lot of preachers in this location are saying that he really supported their work. And also when it comes also to his administration, he was overseeing the activities of 8,000 chiefs across the country. This is a pioneer forum. Remember, prior to 2010 or 2011, there was not a caucus that where the chiefs or local administrators would congregate and communicate and handle their issues as far as delegating their jobs or in their activities at the village level. And so Chief Kariuki is the pioneer founder of the National Chiefs Forum. That is why it's big, because all the chiefs from the country are here. 8,000 in membership are the ones who are at the National Chiefs Forum, but he was looking to have reach the target of having the more than 12,000 chiefs assimilated into the National Chiefs Forum, where they would really address their matters as a united front. So today the curtains fall on a big man, a man of the people, a chief who took Kenya on the global map when it comes to the social media platform of Twitter. And when we engaged with some of his colleagues at the forum, they said they're also now tech savvy. They're on different social media platforms just trying to carry on with the vision of the chief, who felt that taking community policing was not just about reports from the village heads or the people at the community level, but anyone with a smartphone can be able to highlight the crimes, whatever location they are in, and the chiefs will be able to respond to them promptly. So the curtains go down. Lynette Umoja is in mourning, and right now it is the requiem mass of the late Chief Francis Kariuki, who is leaving behind a family and also friends, and more importantly, the Interior Ministry, where he served as a chief for more than 9 years now. And he was a teacher, rather, for 21 years before his demise and before coming into service as a chief.
Thank you, Bridget. Yes, may he rest in peace. Chief Kariuki, who blazed the way in how to hold village barazas in the digital age. Kakamega County tops the list of best performers as Tana River County brings up the rear in the latest report released by research firm Infotrack. Kakamega's Wycliffe Oparanya also ranks as the best performing governor in the country, with Kiambu's James Nyoro emerging as the worst performing among his colleagues. In the top 10 performing governors list, for first-timers, that is Kisumu's Anyang' Nyong'o, West Pokot John Lonyangapuo, Tharaka Nithi Muthomi Njuki, and Bomet's Hilary Barchok leave their mark. NTV's senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi with the details of the survey that critically looks at the key development parameters.
Among the key parameters in the research included agriculture, health, education, roads and transport, as well as county planning. According to Infotrack, about 37,000 respondents in all the 47 counties were interviewed for the findings. Kakamega tops in the ranking with a rating of 57.2%. Kwale County follows in a second position with a rating of 54.8%. Makueni comes in at number 3 with a rating of 54.7%. Kisumu County, led by a first-time governor Anyang' Nyong'o, comes in at position 4, while Uasin Gishu County closes the list of top 5 best counties. Tana River County has been ranked the worst-performing county with a rating of 39.5%, followed by Wajir County with a rating of 41.3%. The list also includes Isiolo, Samburu and Mandera. The report also looks at the top climbers from 2015. Makueni County is rated the best, having moved from position 40 to position 3. Turkana County has moved from position 42 to position 16. Kisumu County moves from position 27 to position 4. Lamu County moves from position 37 to position 16. Nairobi County under Governor Mike Sonko moves from position 39 into position 20. Tharaka Nithi County under Muthomi Njuki, another first-time governor, also rates as one of the most improved counties, jumping from position 31 in 2015 to position 12 in 2020. Aside from the county's ranking, the report has also moved to rank governors, with 4 first-time governors making it to the top 10 list. Kakamega's Wycliffe Oparanya leads the pack at an 82.3% approval rating. Kwale's Salim Vuria comes in second at an approval rating of 77.1%. Makueni's Kivutha Kibwana comes in at number 3 with a 74.4% approval rating. Kisumu's Anyang' Nyong'o opens up the pack for first-time governors who have performed well, with an approval rating of 65.9% amongst residents of Kisumu. John Lonyangapuo, another first-time governor, ranks in at number 6 in terms of governor's performance with an approval of 64.2%. Governor Njuki of Tharaka Nithi ranks 8th position nationally with an approval rating of 62.6%. Bomet's Hilary Barchok closes the rank of 10 best performing governors countrywide with an approval rating of 60.6% amongst residents of the county. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has signed into law the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Amendment Bill 2019. The amended IEBC law now establishes a selection panel that will oversee the recruitment of commissioners to the commission. It will also oversee the filling up of vacant positions that arise in the commission. The new law also sets out the criteria for selecting IEBC commissioners and stipulates the qualifications of members of the selection panel. The bill was signed into law in the presence of the speakers of both houses of parliament. Across Kenya's borders, Tanzanians began casting their ballots this morning in an election overshadowed by opposition fears that the vote will not be free and fair after years of repression under President John Magufuli, who is seeking a second term in office. President Magufuli's Chama cha Mapinduzi has ruled Tanzania since independence in 1961.
Polls have opened in Tanzania's high-stakes elections, with voters having started streaming to polling stations early morning. Lines began to form at several voting locations across the country before the polls opened. Some 29.1 million people are registered to vote, 6 million more than the previous polls in 2015. They include residents of Zanzibar who vote for the island's leaders, including the election of a president, as well as in Tanzania's national election. Hundreds of men and women formed separate queues from before dawn in Garagara neighborhood outside the capital Stone Town, where on Tuesday police fired tear gas and beat up civilians in the neighborhood. Magufuli is seeking a second and final 5-year term in office. While opinion polls have been banned, making it difficult to predict the outcome, many analysts see Magufuli as having strong chances of winning re-election. His main challenger is Tundu Lissu of the biggest opposition party, Chadema, who survived an assassination attempt 3 years ago. He returned from Belgium in July, where he had undergone rounds of treatment for gunshot wounds. In the run-up to the polls, opposition parties complained of threats and repression as the Election Commission disqualified dozens of opposition parliamentary candidates, while rights groups accused the government of curtailing free expression and press freedom. The government has previously rejected such accusations. Registered voters have until 4 p.m. local time to cast their ballot. Results are expected to be announced within 1 week.
We come back with a story on bang and heroin concealed in a kitenge cloth after this break.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Maji, mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa? Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akimpigia simu ashiki. Hi, guy, what the?
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
Broadband margarine. New look, same great taste.
Miaka 20 safari anza ya kutuunganisha kama Wakenya. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Let's go beyond. Mimi na wewe tukibuni kazi nzuri ya kujivunia. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Kwa juhudi na matumaini, twaelekea kesho pamoja. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Safaricom.
Washing is not equal to cleaning. CleanSoft equals real clean.
CleanSoft cleans not just the surface of the clothes, removing stubborn stains easily. Effective antibacterial agent goes deep into the fibers, removing 99.99% of the hidden germ. Congratulations! You are the winner!
Thank you for keeping it NTV at 1. Customs officers of the Kenya Revenue Authority have intercepted bang and heroin at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport that was being smuggled through an international courier service provider. The bang originated from Kasese in Uganda and was destined for France. It was wrapped in a black polythene paper and was concealed in the inner pocket of a kitenge cloth. The heroin originated from Juba, South Sudan, and was destined for Cambodia. It was hidden in the buttons of dresses. The consignments were intercepted separately, and that is despite additional checks at airports. Unscrupulous businessmen the world over are still keen to keep the flow of illicit goods going, devising newer ways of smuggling the products. Poor wiring in houses is the leading cause of electrocutions in Kenya and accounting for 24% of all reported incidents in the country. This is according to a study conducted by utility company Kenya Power, which also reveals that illegal connections and structures are the second leading causes, accounting for 16% and 12% respectively. The leading counties in cases of electrocutions are Nairobi, Nakuru, Kericho, and Uasin Gishu. Kenya Power has partnered with the national government's administration offices to enhance public awareness on the danger of unsafe use or accidental contact with electricity. The technical interministerial team that was formed to study the rise in water levels of Rift Valley lakes is expected to hand over its report next week. Speaking during a graduation ceremony in Naivasha, Wildlife PS, Professor Fred Segor said that the government has formed the Wildlife Research and Training Institute that will lead in the collection of data and information on wildlife conservation. The institute is expected to address the challenges of contradicting data in that sector. The report from the technical interministerial team is expected to give guidance on those who live around the flooded lakes.
The interministerial technical team, which has been going round these lakes for the last 2 weeks, the mission will be ending next week. And thereafter, they will be expected to write a report. And when this report is ready, it will be discussed in the normal government forum in form of cabinet, so that we see how some of the issues, the challenges which have arisen as a result of these rising lakes will be handled. Of course, there are some lessons we are getting from this. It is like, as human beings, some of us have gone closer to where the water bodies are. And so the recommendation this technical team will make may be far-reaching, but the government will see how to handle it.
All right, back to matters COVID, this time in Spain. Spanish doctors staged their first national strike in 25 years on Tuesday to demand better working conditions and greater recognition as the country grapples with a second wave of coronavirus infections. About 85% of Spain's 267,000 doctors took part in the walkout, most of them symbolically, as they continue to see patients, and that is according to the Confederation of Medical Unions, which called for the 24-hour action. While officially declaring themselves to be on strike, they went in to ensure minimum service requirements so that patients were not left alone. Once the country's lockdown measures were lowered in June, coronavirus cases in Spain have soared, with thousands of infections diagnosed every day. This has also caused panic with limited space in hospitals as the healthcare workers are overwhelmed. The world has recorded more than 44 million COVID-19 infections with over 1.17 million fatalities. Spain has recorded 35,298 fatalities from more than 1.17 million positive cases. Real Madrid fought back from 2 goals down to hold Borussia Gladbach to a late 2-2 draw in the UEFA Champions League. Yes, this is the sports news. Karim Benzema and Casemiro scored a goal each in the pandemic. The 15 million shillings partnership aims to equip athletes affected by the suspension of sporting activities across the globe with financial literacy programs to sustain their lifestyles.
What does it mean in terms of taking care of the windfall that comes your way, and you're able to plan for it so that you can be able to sustain your life long after you've retired from active sports? That is what is important, and that's the contribution we would like to make. That there are ways we can be able to train you to manage your money, and because you're managing your money, then at least you can make money and you can live and live well long after you've retired. That is what is very, very important.
I would like also to say thank you for the Standard Bank for what they have done. This is a great sponsorship for humanity and for this country. We need the youths from all over to be able to learn something. Those 500, they will be able to learn something for their future and do something for themselves and for this country.
Football enthusiasts were treated to a thrilling battle during the Amani Mtaani tournament held at Desert Grounds in Nairobi's California estate. The 3-day event saw little-known Kinyago United beat Biafra FC to clinch the cup after a penalty shootout dethroning the latter. The annual tournament ran from Friday to Sunday and comprised of 32 teams that squared it out for the title. Josep Maria Bartomeu resigned as Barcelona president on Tuesday, along with his board of directors, and left with a bombshell admission that he had accepted a proposal for the club to play in a future European Super League. Bartomeu's departure comes following mounting pressure from fans and his public falling out with Lionel Messi. His resignation could affect the future of Messi, who will tattoo of the football legend who turned 60 on Friday as Diego Maradona approaches his 60th birthday. Superfan Guillermo Rodriguez has a 10th tattoo of the Argentine football legend inked on his body. I love him more than my mother and father. Wow, says Guillermo, who has instilled his passion for the footballing icon in his sons, who help him run the family's pizzeria. Canadian Michael Woods timed his move to perfection to win the 7th stage at the La Vuelta as Richard Carapaz retained the overall lead. Woods came out on top by 4 seconds after a tense finish involving 5 In the minute breaking news breaks, we'll be on it.